If there's ever been a time I have been more excited to share what I've uncovered, it's this video. If you guys remember, months ago, I showcased a completely new type of zombie that was going to come out, Boons and Banes, and even a black plague heart debuting in the future. Well, today's video is showing how all of that works, and guys, this is insane. If you guys think Undead Labs is done with major game-changing updates for State of Decay 2, think again. You guys will love what was found. With that though, let's pay some bills, and here's a message from today's sponsor.
With that, today's sponsor is NordVPN. I've actually gotten to use this VPN over the years, and it's been important because as a YouTuber, and along with many other YouTubers now just getting hacked, I could never be more protected. And even just as a gamer who loves to surf the web, or even cloud gaming playing State of Decay 2, it's a high priority to keep my information safe. That's why I've partnered up with NordVPN to bring you guys an awesome deal and give you that same value of protection, because it has been a lifesaver. I use this across my mobile and my PCs, and the highlights for me are this one click to be immediately protected. It's really nice and simple to use. And it even protects me from things like malicious malware, things like fishy emails that are designed for me to download, steal my information. This thing catches it right away. Or how about this perk that monitors websites that you used that have been leaked? So then you can go back and change your information and make sure you're protected. And according to this, apparently I have 21 leaks across some pretty similar gaming websites that even you guys might be familiar with. If you guys want this level of protection, make sure you check out that URL on the screen, in the description, or the comments, and you guys can go ahead and be as protected as I am with NordVPN. Thank you to NordVPN for being today's sponsor, and let's get on with the video.
With that, I want you guys to hear from the developers on future updates post Update 33 on State of Decay 2, starting with Jeffrey right before the year started on what he said about upcoming updates.
The feature is going to come out for everybody. Once we've gathered that feedback, once we've made the sort of the last, put the last polish on the feature, that feature is going to come out sometime next year. And then there's more stuff that we're working on that Joe knows about. I don't know about it. But there's going to be, you know, this game, again, we do not have an end date on this. We're going to keep supporting it. And so Infestations is not the end. It's not the last feature that we're going to put in. There's going to be plenty more to come in the future.
Then just recently, as of just some days ago, Undead Labs' very own Zoe had this to say about an upcoming update, where she says, "We're nowhere near done making State of Decay 2 better. Pretty sure what's coming down the pipe will turn some heads." And boy, she isn't kidding. As always though, I have to give you guys the disclaimer. Technically, what I'm about to show you isn't confirmed, and lots of what I'm showing today can change. It has happened before, but the majority of things that I've showcased in the past have come in some shape or form. And of course, thanks to the YouTuber Go Salty for helping me uncover some of this stuff. Check his channel in the description. Now, quick recap, I've shown how a black plague heart works, and in the past it was mostly aesthetic. At the time, I didn't know how this worked. I've shown how Boons and Banes works, where it adds different modifiers to zombies and it makes them different. It also can be bonuses. Well, now I know how all of this will be implemented and how it looks, and it's going to be done first, starting with the journal. When you take a look here, on the left side it says active, and the things that are active are things that are happening around the world. This can be changed as the zombies like you see here, where I activated something called explosive gunk zombies, and they blow up. Or these things can also come in the form of missions. I had one where raiders came in, and apparently they stopped things like materials coming in, and they came in with other negative effects. And it doesn't leave until you kill these raiders and you finish the mission via the journal. Or I activated this new Boons and Banes system with the black plague heart, which falls under Banes, and boy, this got super interesting. When I visited the black heart and I looked in the journal, it shows the negative effects this plague heart has, and it had two major ones. One is the air in the black heart area is toxic, and it's gonna deal damage over time, and I can tell you guys that is confirmed. As you can see, I am slowly dying near its presence. Also, it says it's extremely resistant to attacks, but it has a weakness. Now sadly, I didn't get to shoot this, but according to Go Salty, he tested bullets and shooting this, and they really didn't do much of anything. He ended up using explosives just to take out the heart. For me, I ended up using melee, which is how I typically kill my plague hearts, parts, and it didn't seem that much buffed. I might have had to use a couple extra hits to take it out. I do wonder if melee's the weakness, but I kind of doubt it, but who knows. Now, this and the Raiders mission came in the form of Banes, and these are the negative effects that will be happening throughout your game. Now, before I go further, I know you guys are probably asking what is it that activates all this stuff, and I actually don't know. I had to activate it via the dev menu, so I'm not sure what's going to trigger this stuff when we're out in the world. So really, that's the biggest mystery for me, and if you guys have a theory, let me know down below. It just maybe seems like maybe this stuff is just going to happen at random. Now, as I've mentioned before, there's also something called boons. These are positives that can happen in your gameplay. I only activated and tested one where it made the zombies a bit weaker, called soft skins, and when I turned this on, I ended up getting all these positive effects you guys see here on the right. There's this low impact damage, higher bolt recovery, and then melee vulnerable, and I tested this and it completely worked. Now, if you guys look down, you have negatives, which is all the Banes I had turned on, and it looks like this thing can really stack up in both positive and negative, and your gameplay, your game will be very different than normal. Now, in the past, I've showcased what boons and Banes actually exist. There's something also called Curveballs, which I tested, and this works as well. These Curveballs seem to be more quirky modifiers, like Juiced Up, where the zombies, I guess, drop alcohol when they die. But I don't want to go over every single one of these boons and Banes and Curveballs because we don't know what's going to actually make it into the final update. But you can kind of get a gist of what we're seeing and what their ideas are. And I love the ones like the Raiders Bane, because when I activated it, it gave me a Raider mission, and I ended up dealing with that, and that was a lot of fun. There was another one where apparently they can take over your outpost, and I thought that was really clever, but I couldn't get that one to work. And there's also some really cool boons, the positive ones, called like News Travel, and it says people are willing to help you out any way they can. So this whole boons and Bane system is just insanely fun, the little that I've gotten to play with it. There's also even these menus that are going to help explain how this new system works, and from my testing, some of these Banes, as in the negative effects, will remain and persist until their timer ends, and some of these other boons can actually just be wiped away with a mission objective, and this also goes for just positive negative effects. So it can very much happen you get a deadly combination, and you're gonna have to ride out the wave via a timer if you don't have a mission objective to destroy the negative modifiers in your game. So there's a lot of interesting things happening here, guys. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention that is significant is that you're gonna get a warning pop up that something's gonna happen, and the journal will update you. At that point, a timer goes into effect with this bar, and when this bar is full, your boon or Bane will activate very soon. As I said, the mystery for me is what is going to trigger any of this happening, period, but either way, you do get this full overview of how this new feature works. So I mean, man, this feature update is just so crazy, and I know I'm talking in absolutes this whole time, and my disclaimer still holds true. It's technically possible. This is something they have tested and they decided they're not doing. And this is a lot of stuff, but I feel pretty confident in saying this new Boons and Bane system is going to happen in some shape or form. They've done a lot of hard work on this already. A lot of the systems are in place and they work really well, as you guys can see. And this is just insanely fun. Holy crap, it's so impressive that they find the most clever ways to add cool things like this when the game is so much older and they are just working with a skeleton crew for these updates. Remember, most of Undead Labs is working on State of Decay 3, not 2, so it's impressive. I do want to say though, I feel like we're guinea pigs for State of Decay 3's upcoming features, but I don't mind that. And when this new Boons and Banes update officially is announced, nobody will be more hyped than me to see this completely ready for testing and then finally finish. This is by far one of the most interesting updates I've seen since I started covering this 2 years ago, and it gets me so hyped. Boy, we are in for a lot of fun. Let's hope this update doesn't take until next year to see though.